Hey guys, welcome back to part number 5, Journey Restore. We are going to get it out of the booth here. I primed it earlier today. I want to get it back out here so that we can make a back door for it. I'm going to actually cut the wood outside so I don't have to worry about bringing it all in here. Let's get it out of here. Gotta untake these wheels real quick. You can see these old wheels still roll really well. All right, we're gonna get set up here, do some measurements so we can start making this back door. All right, let's measure this up here. Now, when we measure for this back door, we want to measure from the top of here to the bottom of this inside lip. So basically, we'll take the tape measure inside here, and then to the top edge up here. It is 44 3/4. Just under 44 3/4. So we're gonna go We're gonna go 44.5 tall. It gives us a little bit of room, so it's not real hard to get in and out. And our width here is 23 1/8. 23 1/8. So we're gonna go 23 inches wide. All right, guys, I'm set up outside here. I'm actually going to cut this 24.5 inches wide, which is 1.5 inches wider than what I need it to be. So after I cut it at 24.5 inches wide with my circular saw, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the table saw and cut it down to 23 inches. The reason why I'm cutting it at 24.5 is this is the factory edge right here. They're always a little chipped up on this melamine. So I'm going to cut it down, and the 2 strips that are going to be left over, I'm going to use to remount in the cabinet where I took off those old strips that were all messed up. I like cutting this stuff outside because it's real dusty. Fortunately, today it's only about 30 degrees out. So now I'm going to make my first cut at 23 3/4. I'm going to run the factory edge along the fence. This right here is the factory side. This is the edge I just cut. This is the edge I'm gonna run on the fence this time. And I'll take it down to the 23 inches wide where it's supposed to be. These two strips left over, we will go ahead and use these to mount in the cabinet. And this will be the door stop, just like those ones that I ripped off that were all messed up. I'm actually, yep, they're both the same size. Now this needs to be cut to length. It's 49 inches currently, and it needs to be 44 and 5/8, I think it was. 44 and a half. This cut right here, I'm just going to cut with my circular saw. You can see all the dust this stuff creates. This is why I like to try to cut this stuff outside. It keeps from getting the shop all messed up. It is 30 degrees out today, a little cold, but we could deal with it for a few minutes. I'm gonna blow the dust off of here now. Now I'm going to go get my router set up so that I can make these grooves in both sides, rabbets they call them, so that it'll fit into that cabinet. So let me go get what I need. Okay, I got my router set up with my rabbeting bit. I'm going to do it in 2 passes because it's a lot of material to take off in one. What we are doing is going to go until we're halfway down the side. Now I have to do the same thing to the other side, but I have to do it on the opposite side. Once again, do it in 2 passes. I'm going to mark the center of the sheet here. You could probably get away with doing it in one, but there's no point in running the risk of chipping everything up real bad. We're gonna go back inside and put those cleats on, and then we'll come back out here and grab that. All right, I'm gonna get these cleats installed on the sides. Just gonna use 4 screws with the countersinking bit. Start on the bottom here, we'll put one down here. Make sure when you're drilling, you don't drill through the outside of the cabinet, so don't go too far. Now I saved this scrap that I had left over from the back. The reason why I did that is I can kind of hold it here and gauge until it's flush. And then I'll be able to hold this cleat and put a screw. Up here I don't need to hold it because this wood is 3/4 and the cleat's butting up against the back side. So one side done. One more screw and these are done. All right, those are all in. And go grab that back piece and we'll see how it fits. All right, got the back piece. Let's see if this groove that I made slides into the groove down here. Looks like it does. And looks like we're real close to fitting. There it is. Nice back door, fits perfect, nice and flush. I got to drill a hole for a lock here, and I'm pretty sure they had vents in these doors, because I don't see them building one of these games without having vents in the back door. So I'm going to go online, see if I can't find some pictures of a back door for a Journey. Tapper's probably the same. Let me be right back. All right, according to the pictures I found, it looks like the Journey only has slots on the top of the door, and the Tapper one looks like they're on the top and bottom. So we'll have to keep that in mind when we make the Tapper back door, to put these on the top and bottom. I'm not going to make a template or anything. I measured them all out. I'm going to drill a 1/4 inch hole in the corner of each hole, or corner of each square, and then I'm just going to cut them out with a jigsaw. And I said on the previous video, I do have the metal grates that go on the back side of these in the basement. Let me go get the jigsaw. I'm going to use this multi-tool first, because this jigsaw blade is a little bit wider than a 1/4 inch, so it won't slide down into that hole. I don't want to make those holes any bigger, because then the corner radiuses will be too big. These are not going to be perfect. They don't need to be. right, let me go get a drill bit. We're gonna drill the 3/4 inch hole for the lock. All right, I have a 3/4 inch paddle bit. That should be fine for this. I already marked this earlier. I'm gonna drill halfway through until the point of the bit, I can feel it on the other side, and then I'll flip it over and finish drilling it. Okay. Go see how it fits. All right, let's put it in place. There you go. Back doors needs wiped off. It doesn't need to be painted or anything like that. I'll put the grates in on the back side. I'll staple them in. This back can go right in the basement. There's no reason to leave it out in the shop. I'm not gonna worry about painting any of this stuff. I don't think it was painted originally. It's fine. So there you go, that's the back door. This video didn't take too long. Maybe we will go tear down the control panel so we can start looking at what we need to do about fixing the holes on that. All right, let's get this control panel torn down and we'll see what we have to work with here. First thing we need to do is get these bolts out of here that are holding a piece of Lexan on the front side. Let's take those out and then we can take the buttons out. Probably a 3/8. Yep, 3/8. Looks like we're gonna need a wrench for those ones. A lot of holes to weld in. These carriage bolts, I'm gonna hang on to these. These are a smaller size carriage bolt. These are kind of hard to find. Those can always be sanded and painted black. You get a 3/8 wrench here. Get these off. Buttons and joysticks I always tend to hang on to. Never know if you need one for something or someone just needs one to get by. I have a whole bin of that stuff in the basement. All the years of restoring games and stuff. You end up collecting a large quantity of that stuff. Same thing with this harness. I'm gonna strap it from all these and save it. It's actually in good shape. It's not all cut up or anything like that. Jeez, things are in there. Now that micro switch is broken, but the terminal ripped right out of the micro switch. It's still fixable. You can put a new micro switch on there. All of them are kind of weak. Grab some needle nose pliers here. This one's broke too. Surprised the game even worked. I mean, this literally just comes right out. Who knows if the game worked? I got it without a circuit board in it, so I have no idea. You know what? I'm just gonna take these micro switches off because I got to take them off anyways to get the buttons out of the hole. So we'll just take them off and leave them attached for now. Oh look, the original clip is right here for the factory wiring harness for Journey. I'm pretty sure there's more than one of those needed. I do have some other style ones that double side tape to the metal, and then they you use a zip tie to go through them to hold the wires. I'll probably end up putting one or two of those on the back of this. Since I have to do so much welding on the back of this control panel, I'm gonna go ahead and paint the back of it black, just to body work it and fill in anywhere I welded, just so it looks a little nicer and neater. The front side of this control panel, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it white. The reason why I'm gonna paint it white is because I've seen other guys paint it black, and where the Journey artwork is, where those big white spots are on the Journey artwork, it makes the white look dingy because it shows the black paint underneath the white artwork. So now we're gonna take off the joysticks. I don't know if you guys know how to do that or not. I usually just use a little pick or a screwdriver. We'll grab a little pick here. Easiest way is just to go under this C-clip, pry it out like that. That's it. Pull the joystick handle out. This will fall out as well. Also, don't forget that you have one of these too. This is a spacer. Once again, just take your little pick tool, go underneath. It's actually an E-clip, they call it. It's got 3 points where it holds on to the shaft. The shaft has a groove in it that E-clip slips into. Go ahead and take this one out. Looks like it's possibly two different style joysticks, but that's all right. Now we're gonna unbolt the joysticks. We'll do the buttons last. Once we take the buttons out, that piece of Lexan on the front side is gonna wanna fall off. You have to take the shafts out of the joystick in order to get them out of the control panel. One joystick. This is your dust cover. Look how filthy these are from years of use. I usually like to just stick them back together. just so you don't lose all the parts. It'll probably be fun trying to get this control panel overlay off of this metal. I'm sure it'll probably be stuck really well like they usually are. We still have to tear down the coin door and get these bolts going in the tumbler so that they can start cleaning. I think I'm going to stick these carriage bolts and everything in the tumbler too. I know I'm not going to use them right now, but who knows, they'll be clean. Maybe I'll just put them in my bin with the other ones that I have. Don't forget your dust cover. This right here is a bushing that goes inside. Joystick goes in. Flip it upside down. I don't know why that was on there. Actually, I do know why. It goes on the other joystick. The two joysticks are a little different from each other. You gotta push this down. It's spring loaded. It'll go down, and then you can put your E-clip in. Just like that. Let's take this one back apart. Maybe. Get the pick here. All right. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Probably not. That's a little better. All right. So let's pull this back out. This bushing goes right here. Then it goes into the joystick. Like that. Okay. Now it's time to take out these carriage bolts. Get these out of the way. All right. Now we can take out the buttons. Okay, good thing is where the player 1 and player 2 start buttons for Journey are, they didn't mess up those holes. Those are still there. These are leaf buttons that we're supposed to use on the Journey. These are micro switch buttons. We are not going to reuse these. These are not the right buttons. I do have the proper buttons downstairs. They are new buttons. Not as good as some of the original ones, but they're better than having micro switch ones. I do have a tool downstairs to take these nuts off, but usually if you just spin the button a little bit, the nut will come free. Two buttons left, and we can get this piece of plexiglass off here. Once again, I saved these buttons. Probably never use them, but never know. All right, that's all taken apart. Piece of Lexan's garbage. You can see here, this is an original button. This is an original button. It's nice that they didn't screw those up. See how they had that little slot in them? That little slot is where the leaf switch buttons go into. And here are the player 1 and player 2 buttons. Those are also in good shape. Looks like they hid where the joystick was. I think that's glued on. There's a joystick hole, so perfect. So basically we have to weld up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 button holes and a bunch of little holes from all those carriage bolts that they put through the metal. See if we can't peel this off here, or at least some of it. I was kind of hoping the original overlay would have been underneath just to see it, but looks like they got rid of it. Oh yeah, this stuff is really stuck on here. It's gonna be a real pain to get off. Let's see if the heat gun will help at all. Move some of this stuff out of the way. Yep, that definitely helps. All right, I'm gonna do this off camera because it's gonna be really hard to try to video this as I'm wrestling around with it. All right, after about 20 minutes or so with a putty knife and a heat gun, I was able to get the 95% of the vinyl off of here. Now I'm left with a bunch of sticky residue and a little bit of vinyl left over. What I think I'm gonna use is, see if I can find it here. One of these Roloc discs, they call them a hamburger disc. It attaches to the air tool and it just grinds, and usually we'll get this glue off. I'm gonna go do that off camera and I'll be back in a little bit here to show you what it looks like. All right, all the glue is off. Bunch of holes to weld in. The panel's warped. I don't know if you could see that in the video or not. It's got a really good warp to it. I don't know if that's from when they drilled the holes or what, but that's gonna be a real interesting one to fix. But I don't have a choice, I have to fix it. I don't have any other ones. You can actually see it's how much it flexes. That's how warped it is. But we'll just have to do what we can do and make it work. All right, now, why don't we tear down this coin door real quick. All right, let's get this torn down so we can start cleaning it. All nuts and bolts for the cabinet. I think it's a 5/16 on some of these. Those are quarters. This is a 5/16 over here. A lot of this wiring looks kind of hacked up. It's got a bunch of crimp connectors and stuff. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I do have new ones of these 25-cent parts. The plastics, these are just shot. Sometimes you can buff them out, clean them up, but in this case, this one actually has, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of like burned through. Almost looks like a cigarette burn on the outside. The wiring harness does not come with a coin door harness, so I'm gonna have to fix this one or see if I have another one. Now remember, when you're taking these apart, this side has a smaller bracket, this side has the bigger bracket because it has a clamp that holds the wiring harness, and it has a hook, which is where the operator would normally put the key for the back door, and then it has the other spot where the ground wire had hooked up, where the ground wire had broke off. So we'll just take that off, throw away this little piece of metal from the old ground strap. Like I said in the other video, we'll just drill a new hole into it. All right, now we'll take this out. I like to take every nut and bolt off of these. There's an old operator's sticker on here. We should call them, see if they're still in business. Just kidding. Remember that your light bulb wires route through the middle of this. Property of Outback Entertainment. And bumpers 2, amusement underneath. That's actually pretty cool. Can't say that I've really seen stickers on the insides of these before. I normally take these all apart to put them in a tumbler, but I think I'm gonna leave them together. They're actually in pretty good shape. No point in taking apart more if I don't have to. Once again, if you're doing this for the first time or whatever, get yourself some Ziploc bags, kind of take a few things apart, label them, so you know where they go. Zip ties, you gotta cut those off. We gotta feed these through here. Oh, this plug right here is that coin counter that we found in the bottom of the cabinet. I'm pretty positive it mounts right here. Let's let's take these 4 out. These are the coin slots. I do have new bolts for them and new coin slots. I have new ones. I'm going to clean them just to curiosity, see how they turn out. Who knows, maybe they'll look good and we'll keep them. It's nice to try to use the original parts when you can. Just to say that it was on that machine its whole life, you know. But we'll see what happens. Alright, need to get this whole lock cylinder off of here. This is garbage. Looks like this is missing the vibration switch. It's garbage. And I think these are the 2 wires that go to it. I'll have to see if I have another one in the basement. These coin mechanisms, you take those out, pull down on this, they pop out that way. These will be put back in. I try to put coin mechs back into every game that I have, just in case I ever do sell it. It can go with the game. And I make sure that the quarters work. We're actually missing a spring on this one right here. There's a little spring that springs these back. We'll have to find one of them. I might even have one in my drawer over here. All right, now I'm losing all my sockets. Here it is. Tell you what, this coin door, these parts inside are really clean. I don't think I'm going to sandblast this coin door. I think I'm just going to sand it down and weld up the holes and paint it. I don't think there's any reason to do more work than we need to. We have a bunch of zip ties everywhere. Get these out of the way. We might even be able to fix this harness that's in here. Cut these off and solder them together. For now, we're going to leave these connected. Normally I clean these. I'm just going to simple green them. I'll clean this up right here. But yeah, I'm just going to clean those up. They don't need to be put in a tumbler or anything like that. You should see some of the coin doors over the years I've fixed, cleaned up and fixed. They've just been horrible. It's amazing how rusty some of these can get. There's a zip tie over here in the corner. Try to remember where they zip tied this stuff so you can put it back the way it was. One more right here. So on the bottom of both of these coin returns, there's a hole drill in them, and that's where a zip tie goes through. That kind of holds the wiring harness together. So that's pretty much all that. And then one other thing I like to take apart is I like to take the coin door off of the frame. Then when I paint it, I can paint each piece separately. Just turns out a little nicer. Gotta grab a Phillips screwdriver here. 3 Phillips screws hold this on. And the middle one doesn't want to come off. You get a different size screwdriver. All right, coin doors apart. I will be drilling these rivets out. I do have new ones for it. The new ones I have no way of pressing them in like they did originally. So I have no way of pressing them in like they did originally. So what I normally do is just put the rivets in there and super glue them. The new tags don't come with holes drilled in them either. So you got to be really careful drilling the holes into the tag. But I'll do that off camera. That's not a big deal. We're just gonna drill out the rivets and take that tag off. Here's the frame here. We're just gonna put this off to the side with the control panel because we got to do welding on this with the control panel. So we'll do it all at the same time. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then we'll get the tumbler out. All right, I already had some crushed walnut shells already in here. I just go to the pet store and buy Desert Blend ground English walnut shells. If you go to the pet store and buy these, it's a lot cheaper than going to Harbor Freight or ordering crushed walnut shells online for sandblasting. This is probably a fourth of the cost. You can, honestly, these last couple bags I got on Amazon. And go to the dollar store and just get yourself a little strainer. Because I like to strain them afterwards. I strain all the nuts and bolts out of them. Try to get one with small holes. All right, so now we're just going to kind of put all the parts into this. Nuts, bolts, all this stuff. And literally, I let this thing run for a good week. I'll check it every so often just to see how they're looking. If some parts are looking really good, some of the bigger pieces, I might take them out of there a little bit early rather than all the nuts and bolts, just to give the nuts and bolts a little bit more room to move around. There is a fill line in here where they want you to fill it too. Don't overfill it. If you overfill it, it tends to not work as good. This is all the hardware from the cabinet the other day that we took apart. Other than that, that's it. Put the lid on it. You can order these on Amazon. That's where I got this one from. I think they're about $40, $50, not positive. I want to say mine only might have been 30 or 40. I bought it years ago. I'm sure it's a lot more expensive now, so like everything else. Plug it in, turn it on, let it run. Other than that, that's going to be it. That is going to be part number 5 of the journey. Next, we will probably go ahead and do the welding on the control panel and the coin door, do the body work to them so that we can get them ready to paint. And then, I'm not sure if I'm going to paint the cabinet first. I might get the cabinet painted first so I can get it in the basement, and then we'll do the coin door and the control panel. Get those, painted so that we can start putting that game back together. Other than that, that is it. I'm probably going to make another video of block sanding, guide coating and block sanding a trunk lid and a door for a 59 Impala. I'll probably end up doing that tonight. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and please, if you can, subscribe.